Hello, Coach Samantha here. All right, so I wanted to take a few minutes to show you guys how to really just get started from the very beginning. So, a lot of you may have bought the all access annual challenge pack with the year-long subscription to Beachbody On Demand, or maybe that's what you've got and you just want to know how to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to share my screen and just show you how to get started, where to look for things, where everything's at, so you don't miss any really useful information. All right, I hope this works. All right. So first off, to access everything online, you go to club.teambeachbody.com and then you'll log in. Let's see if I can move that. The login information will show up over here. I'm already logged in. It's just whatever email and password you set up when you started. There's always just announcements up here. This tells you what workouts you've been doing. And these are purchase programs. So different programs that I've purchased in the past, but I have purchased a lot of programs over the time. But this is the member library. So basically everything you'll want, a lot of it will be up here, and then everything else will be down here in the member library. I know a lot of you, depending on what we chatted about, talked about starting with the 21-day fix. So let me go find that. It's right up here. 21-day fix. It could be in one of these, could be any number of places. Others of you, we may have chatted about starting with a different program, so same concepts apply here. So this is where all the information about the program lives. These are all the different workouts. It tells you if there's equipment required. When it says modifier, it doesn't mean that there's not a modifier there. All of these workouts have modifiers. It's just not a split screen with the modifier on one side, but they'll still be showing you what the modifier is doing. The one in 21-day fix, her name is Kat. They're always telling you what she's doing, so there are a lot of options there. You can do it with no music. So if you don't want that background music, that way you can play your own music. I always play Pandora while I'm doing it. And then there's some additional workouts there. So we'll move that over here. So here is where a lot of your key information is going to be. And this is where you'll really want to check in. So first off, what you're going to do is you're going to want to go to start here. Makes sense, right? So first thing is following your workout. So while you do have access to, I don't know, hundreds of workouts, it really is important to follow a program because they're set up by the trainers specifically so that your body isn't getting overly fatigued, so that you're working the appropriate muscles, and then you're getting the right workout to get results. So this is the workout calendar that you're going to want to do. And you're going to want to follow it set up for 21 days. You can print any of this out also if you're more of like an in-person visual person. All right, and this is where you're going to want to figure out what plan you're on and how many containers you get for the little container packages you got. So you put your weight in there, you multiply it by 11, then you add 400, then you minus 750. So that's how you get what category. So if you do all that, say we'll just do 200 because I can do easy math in my head. 200 times 11 is 2200, plus 400 is 2600, minus 750 is 1850. Would you like that quick math? All right, so that brings you to plan C here. So if 200 pounds brings you to plan C. Everyone will be different based on your weight. So you will have to weigh yourself to get started on this program. It's okay. You don't have to share it with me or anyone, but you really do need to do that. It's also good as one of the measurements you'll be tracking. So that means all the containers, you get 5 greens a day, 3 purples, 5 reds, 4 yellows, 1 blue, 1 orange, and 5 teaspoons. And that'll make sense in a little bit. So this explains you how to use the containers, some sample meal plans, and then this is a tracker. These are all of the measurements you're going to want to make sure you're taking. And then it goes into some more details about the workouts. So that's the first thing, is do start here. You get how many containers you get every day, and you get your workout calendar. The next thing you'll want to click on is the 21-day fix food list. I highly recommend printing this out. It's just a 1-page PDF, and it tells you, sorry, I keep having to move this around. It will tell you what foods are in each category. And there you go. So a couple things to note here. Unless it is otherwise noted, it is just how much fits in the container. A couple things like asparagus, it says 10 spears. That way you don't have to chop them up. If you're grilling them, you don't have to cut them up and then measure them before you eat them, something like that. Same with like a banana in your purple container. I don't know where banana is on the list. It's on here. I know that. Yeah, there you go. Half a large. They're not making you, mush it up into the container. Okay. And I do want to note something else about the list. They're ranked in order from most nutritious, with the most nutritional value to the least. It's not that they're not nutritious. It's not that they're not okay. I would just not only eat from the bottom of the list. Okay. Try to spread it out. So when you're thinking of green, I mean, kale's up there. I personally don't eat kale or watercress or collard greens. So I just don't like those, but I do eat spinach. I love Brussels sprouts, love broccoli, love asparagus. So I try to mix it up, like with my yellows. Yellow is the starchy, carby one. I try to mix in sweet potatoes and quinoa. While I personally would love waffles and pancakes all the time, but I know that that's not the most nutritious thing, so I mix it up there. And read through these. Some things were surprising to some people. It took me a while to realize peas are actually a yellow, not a green. Things like that. So take a look at this. This will tell you what all your containers are, and then what goes in the teaspoons. And these are free foods. Just like, you obviously don't have to track how much vinegar or mustard or garlic, things like that. All right. So, and then you would just click on the program. It tells you a little bit about it, and then you click play, and it'll play on your screen. So that's something to really focus on here in the Beachbody On Demand. I just want to show you a couple other things, so that way you can get going. I just want to see the eating plans. I'm not going to open these up, but there are eating plans, different meal plans, different guides. You get some ideas. There are for vegan. I know I have a few vegan challengers right now, so there are meal plans for that. And then the last thing is that there is a cooking show on here, which is actually really cool. And they're simple, quick videos. I think they're 5-10 minutes long, or 4 to 16 minutes long, as it says. And it's those look good. Sorry, distracted by chocolate. So lots of different options here, and they're broken out by different types of recipes. Let's see what they have for Shakeology recipes. The chocolate hazelnut's actually really good. I have tried some of these. I would highly recommend, this is what I wanted to point out, under foundational videos, watching Containers 101. It's short, but it gives you the whole kind of understanding of how everything works, okay? But again, if you guys have any questions about how this works, how do the containers work, what you should be eating, if you want to go over your meal plan, just send me a copy of it. I'm happy to go over it. I will also share with you my meal plan. And just so you guys know, I do meal planning on Sundays and prep on Sundays, and I'm set mostly for the week. Sometimes on Mondays, I work from home Monday, so I can throw a few things in the oven or a crock pot then too. All right, well, that's all I had to share. So I'm so excited to get you guys started, and reach out at any time with questions. Awesome. Bye.